Welcome to the Raven Knoll Show. I'm your host, Raven C. Knoll, known as the Soul Physician. I'm a wife, mother, counselor, mindset plus life coach, and speaker, and this is episode number 14. Hey, and thank you for tuning in to today's podcast episode. Today is the 7th episode of season 2 of the Raven Knoll Show. I mean, we have already made it through the season. I just really hope that you've been enjoying season 2 thus far, because this is literally the last episode of season 2. Oh my gosh, just to think about it is crazy. I am 2 seasons in already to my podcast. And this season particularly has really been about giving my listeners a dose of truth serum. Not in a bad way, but in a good way, because I think that we all need a little truth from time to time to realign ourselves with our convictions, because those convictions can get cloudy and lost and displaced just based on the rhythm of life. So it was really enjoyable to bring things back into perspective in this season and to really encourage you with a lot of truth, because sometimes, like I said, that just gets lost in the falseness of kind of like the social media world and society we kind of live in. And so sometimes we just need a little bit of a realignment. We just need things to be brought back into perspective. So I hope that season 2 did that for you. And just really quickly, before I dive into this episode, I just want you to pause for me and leave me a review. If I've shared anything in season 2 of this podcast that has been life-changing, inspiring, motivating, encouraging, informative, or you really just enjoyed hearing me speak or want to support me, leave me a review so that the podcast can get more traffic to new listeners. So if you can just pause really quickly, go ahead and just pause this episode, leave me a review, and then push play again. Okay, I'm giving you the opportunity to do that right now. Go ahead and pause, leave me a review, and then come back. If you did that, it would mean the world to me, because the best win for me is when you leave a review. All right. So we started this season with a wake-up call. If you remember, I kind of gave in January this wake-up call about our mental and emotional health and just influencers in general and those that have front-facing careers. I kind of gave a wake-up call just based on some things that took place at the beginning of this year. And so if that's something that you want to go back and listen to, you can absolutely go and check out that episode. And so we're going to be ending this season in a familiar or some similar fashion with a news flash. Okay. So in this episode, particularly, I want to put an emphasis on the importance of good character. Okay. Because good character is literally one of the pillars in life, business, and just your profession in general that sustains your success. And what I'm realizing more and more as I work with clients, as I see things on social media, as I pass by just different things that I see, I'm realizing that people don't necessarily put enough thought and emphasis and investment in good character. There's a lot of investment in business. There's a lot of investment, in your mental and emotional health, just different things. There's a lot of investment in those areas, but I don't always see a lot of investment in good character and character development. And I think that is so important, because your character, your reputation, who you are, who people know you as, that's important. And that's literally going to help continue to fuel your business or continue to fuel your career path, or it's just going to continue to fuel different aspects of your life. And so as I was preparing for this podcast episode, I really start thinking about this show that I've been watching that has me hooked. And it's called That Thing About Pam. Now, I don't know if you've seen it, but let me tell you, go watch it. It's actually based on a true story, and it comes on NBC, and it's about a lady named Pam who allegedly got away with the 2011 murder of her best friend Betsy until it all caught up with her. All right. So In this episode, we're going to talk and dive into Pam and Pam's character. And I really want you to see yourself in Pam. Now, Pam did some extreme things. And so you may not relate to her fully, but I want you to see yourself in this story or her storyline or her life in general and how that can connect to your own life and your own character. Okay? So, before the murder took place that Pam committed, allegedly, it was known, she was known within her community as a person with great character and integrity. Okay. In fact, people loved her. People loved Pam. Everyone within her community thought of her as a very nice person. And even as I was watching the episodes, one of the common things that were said, and I also think that they kind of honed in on this point as well, is that people just said, she's a very nice person. She's a very nice person. So I would never think she would do anything wrong. She's a very nice person, right? You know, she was so loved in her community that she was able to actually testify in Betsy's murder case and fool the judge, fool the prosecutors, fool the police officers, fool the jurors, and everyone. She fooled everyone, including Betsy's, which is the woman who was murdered, own daughters. They thought Pam was innocent. Now, listen, y'all know in the last few episodes of the podcast, I've been throwing in some references to paint a picture and make it plain for you. So today, like I said, in this episode, it's about Pam. So when I say good character, I mean someone who has generally acceptable behavior across the board in society that people can generally point to this person and say, oh, that's a good person. You know, they have good character. You know, you can generally acceptable, right? So if you do a basic Google search of someone with good character, it basically means someone with integrity, someone who's honest, someone who is loyal, someone who is respectful, someone who's respected. You know, those general important virtues, they promote good behavior. Okay, so for example, if I said the name Donald Trump, you probably would say, no, definitely not a good person with good character. Okay. But if I said Jesus Christ, you probably say, yes, he is someone with great character. Okay, I can relate. So the thing about Pam is, if you look at her life externally, you would consider her to be a good person who had a good life and displayed good character. Okay, so she's married, she has kids, she had a really great real estate business, she was involved in the community loved her, she had a great group of friends, she did Zumba with her friends on the weekend. You know, it was all roses and daisies and fluffy and good. And when people saw Pam, you would generally see a person in society like that. You would say, oh, they have good character. That's a generally good person. And I keep saying generally because you never know what goes on behind the scenes in people's lives, but generally accepted in society, right? But the unfortunate thing about this is, although it was roses and daisies on the outside and things looked really good on social media, right? But let's connect it to the day and age that we live in currently. People have these nice painted pictures on social media. There is a nice feed of things. You see these highlight reels of their lives. They're taking vacations. They're making money in their business. You know, they have this nice fluffy lifestyle that you see. They're very much successful in the eyes of, social media or whatever you want to call it. You look at them and you say, oh, they have a good life. They look like they have good character, look like they're a good mom to their children, look like their business is flourishing, looks like they have a good community around them. So it looks like this person generally has a good life and displays good character. The thing about Pam is her character actually ended up catching up with her because what she displayed externally was quite the opposite of what she harbored internally. Okay? So again, we see these nice feeds, pictures, different things of that nature. I'm not knocking anyone because if you go to my social media page currently, you probably see some nice displayed pictures as well. That's the age and time that we live in of social media. You know, you want things to look put together nicely. It's good for the brand. It's good for the business, different things of that nature, right? So you want this external look based on what your brand is or based on the business that you're promoting. And so, like I said, I'm not knocking anyone for that. But what I'm saying is what she displayed externally was quite the opposite of what she harbored internally. She specifically had a hunger, a strong hunger for more. and she was never satisfied with her portion of life. Okay, sound familiar? Maybe you feel like you sit in that seat where you scroll on social media, or you see people in the workplace, or you see people's businesses, and you start saying, I want more of that. I want more of what she has. I want more of what they have. I want more. And your portion of life is never satisfying to you. Okay, for Pam specifically, the business wasn't enough. She had a great real estate business, but even though she was making great money, it wasn't enough. She had great income coming into her household from herself and her spouse, and they had great money coming in, but that wasn't enough. And so she was very motivated by money and success. Her portion of life was not enough. She needed more money. She needed more success. She needed more esteem. She needed more achievements. She needed more. And so, in the day and age that we live in, it can be very easy to look at examples of celebrity lives, people on social media, and compare yourself and say, I need more of what they have, and not necessarily be satisfied with what you have, and now become more motivated by a perceived image of what a good life looks like. And so, those internal motivations are actually what caused her to lose it all. Okay. Those internal motivations were so strong that they caused her to lie, steal, and kill someone. So you might be thinking, okay, Raven, now it's a little far. I don't see myself doing something like that, and I would hope not. But today, I want to encourage you to reflect on your own internal motivations, because newsflash, those motivations can cause you to lose it all. And so, the bad thing about it is the more we begin to scroll and we see things that are displayed that look shiny, things that are displayed that look like they would give us more weight on our name, things that are displayed that makes us feel like we would be more successful, things that are displayed and look a little shiny to make it feel like, oh, that will make me look more esteemed, more successful, more achieved, right? When you start looking at that all the time, those things get in your heart and they become motivations for the things that you want out of life. And slowly but surely, your own portion of life becomes less satisfying and less enough. So if you are motivated by money, success, achievements more than you are a good character and reputation, those internal motivations can only be suppressed for so long. Okay. So the more that we allow ourselves to look at success and money and achievements as a thing that we should desire and where we should put our investments, more than we look at good character, those lines begin to cross. And there's nothing wrong with one. And on this podcast, I keep it real. I tell you all the time, I'm all for being goal driven. I'm all for going after purpose. I'm all for making more money. I'm all for whatever success looks like for you. I'm all for achieving your goals. I'm all for those things. So don't think that this is me saying that those things are horrible. What I'm saying is those things should be led by good character. Okay. So that should be the leading factor and the motivation before the money, success, and achievements, because good character is what keeps you from crossing the line into corruption and doing things that are no longer considered having good ambitions. Okay. So if that kind of makes sense. So, like I said, over time, if you don't deal with those internal motivations, if they're there, if you're reflecting and you're like, oh, you know what, I do feel like I am motivated by some of the wrong things, and those internal motivations, you may need to check them. But if you don't deal with them and you don't really reflect on what's there, they can only be suppressed for so long, like I said, before they influence your actions and behaviors to do something that is completely opposite of what you truly want to end up doing. And they can completely cause you to lose it all and ruin your reputation. Now, the Bible tells us in Proverbs 22:1, because you know how to throw a scripture in there, a good name, a good reputation, good character, earned by honorable behavior, godly wisdom, moral courage, and personal integrity is more desirable than great riches. Okay? So, a good name, a good reputation, and good character can be earned, right? By honorable behavior, godly wisdom, moral courage, and personal integrity. And those things should be valued more, should be more desirable than any success, money, achievements, any of that. Great riches is what it says. It should be more desirable. Those things should be leading your pursuits. Good character, a good name, and a good reputation should be leading your pursuits and not the opposite. You shouldn't be motivated by money, success, and achievements and kind of pushing that good character. Well, that we'll take care of that in the next round. No, you want to make sure that good character is leading you. So in this last episode of season 2, I want to encourage you to invest in your personal character development, because that investment will yield you a greater return in the long run, more than any other investment you will make in your lifetime. It will literally sustain you in everything connected to you. Pam is serving a life sentence in prison right now. Don't be Pam. And even though you may be like, I would never do something that cruel, take the principle and apply it to your own life. Because Pam had good character, quote unquote, and good integrity as well, right? People seen that outward exterior of her and looked at her and said, oh, she's a pretty good person generally. But those internal motivations was her downfall. And so if she was leading with good character and really honestly had good character, right? Not just something that she was displaying, but not truly something that was internal. If that was the motivating factor, then it would overshadow these money, success, achievements that she was really motivated by. And those things would be subjected to good character, right? So although she wanted to make more money, okay, having good character, good behavior, personal integrity would have caused her not to do some of the corrupt things that she did to make more money. Instead, she would have made more money in an honorable way, a way that was aligned with personal integrity, a way that was aligned with good morals and values. If she wanted success, that desire still would have been there, but it would have been led by good character, right? It would have been led by good behavior. I want success, but I don't want it at the sake of stealing from people. I don't want success at the sake of murdering someone else's reputation. I don't want it. You don't do things with bad character. You do it with good character. And so you're still able to obtain the money. You're still able to obtain the success. You're still able to obtain the achievements. You're still able to do it all. But when good character is leading, it draws boundaries as to how far you're going to go to achieve that success or to make the money X, Y, and Z. Okay, so today's episode is to really give you a news flash, because I know that a lot of my audience are women who are successful, women who are climbing the corporate ladder or bossing in their businesses. I know that a lot of my audience are also purpose-driven women who are making pursuits toward their purpose and making pursuits toward the areas of success that they want to go in. And maybe you're making strides forward and you're doing good things and you're really moving forward in the things that you want to achieve. And so this is a news flash to let you know, hey, you can lose it all if you don't allow good character and personal character development to lead your pursuits and to lead your accomplishments and to lead your goals and to lead your success. Okay? So don't be Pam. And you may never be Pam. We pray in Jesus' name. But take the principle and apply it to your own life, because although you may not do something as extreme as Pam, the same situation you can find yourself in, that you lose it all if you don't invest in your character first and then allow everything else to follow. All right? All right. So that is a wrap, y'all. I'm closing out season 2. But buckle up, because season 3 is right around the corner. I'll be interviewing your favorite influencers for a series called Known for Influence, where we'll have raw, real, and relatable conversations about life as an influencer. It is going to be so good and juicy, y'all. These wonderful women wear many hats and show up professionally online in a capacity that comes with a lot of pressure and a lot of criticism. So I can't give you all the names on who's going to be on this episode, but make sure you subscribe to this podcast and follow me on Instagram so you don't miss what's coming next. I'm telling you, these conversations, they're about to be good. Okay? I'll see you in season 3. This has been the Raven Knoll Show. Thanks for listening. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to this podcast so you're the first to know when new episodes are released. And don't forget to leave a review. If you can't wait until the next show, follow along on Instagram, YouTube, or Twitter at RavenCKnoll for more tips and to keep the conversation going. Go ahead and DM me on Instagram or take a screenshot of this podcast and share it to your IG stories. I want to know about your takeaways from the show. Don't forget to tag me and use the hashtag RCNPodSquad. Lastly, visit my website at ravencknoll.com and join my email list to get exclusive bonuses only for my email subscribers. Thanks again for rocking and rolling with me. I'll talk to you soon.